Hi, just wanted to share some observations and comments 1 week after the election. And first of all, it's important to maintain your own mental health by not getting upset about things you have no control over. So I just first want to just remind people of the Serenity prayer about, asking for help to recognize the difference between the things that you have control over and the things that you don't, and to let go of those things you have no control over, and the things you do have control over, the strength and courage to take care of those things. And the one thing that we always have control over, although we've not been taught how to have control over them, many of us, and that is our thoughts and our feelings, okay? And when we start to pay attention to the thoughts we think, a lot of times we think things very, it seems like automatic, it is kind of, because we're not consciously aware of what we've been thinking. We've been thinking things habitually, just like we do anything habitually. Driving the same route every day, you have that automatic pilot thing that happens, and the next thing you know, you're driving the same route when actually you meant to make a turn, okay? That's how our thoughts work too. And when we start to think things that habitually are concerned about things we have no control over, that's when real, unhealthiness happens. And we find ourselves feeling trapped and helpless and frustrated and perhaps frightened, and it feels very out of control. So, this election is a great example. I can't control anyone else's beliefs or what they do in the voting booth, and I wouldn't want anyone to try to control mine or anybody else's. So I have to respect the fact that a big number of Americans thought it was a good idea to put a convicted felon in the office at the head of, in charge of the nuclear codes and things like that. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. That's my opinion. That people didn't think that this was that people thought this was a good idea. But then this is the point I want to make is, as we go forward, and it's a very frightening time for many people to think about what's starting to already happen, and the things going on in the world, and things going on not in our lives. So that's what I want to just say, is focus on the things in your life that matter to you, that are in the realm of your influence. Stephen Covey said something very wise in his book years ago, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's yourself, and then draw a little circle around yourself, and that is your sphere of influence. And then a bigger circle around there is your sphere of concern. And you never want to have your sphere of concern be bigger than your sphere of influence. So if you focus on the things you can control, which are yourself, okay, that's all you can control. You can directly control the thoughts you think and the actions you take and how you feel by those things that you can control. You might not think you can, but you actually can learn to control those things. And then you are influencing people around you, your immediate family members, the people that you come in contact in the workplace, and people perhaps in the other communities you belong to, whether it's a club or a professional organization or a church, whatever other communities you're involved in. You influence the people around you. You can't control them. Okay, you can't control your children. You can't control a baby when it poos and peeps and pees and turns over or cries or sleeps. You can't control anybody else, only yourself. So Stephen Covey said, focus on the things you can control, and thereby, in a positive way, and thereby you can grow your circle of influence as you grow your circle of concern. So I know we're all concerned about the climate and the democracy and fascism and what's going on in Gaza. It's horrible. Now, I belong to a church that has family members that are from the Middle East. And I know people personally who live there. And it's horrendous what's going on. And I have to really, calibrate my own thoughts and thinking to things that don't make me powerless. And I could be up all night worrying, and I could be angry and take it out on people I love because I'm upset and worried about things that I have no control over. And that's the whole point. Really, really notice what it is you're worried and concerned about. Focus on and be the light. Be the light to the people you are closest to and have influence over. And you can make a difference in small ways that if you stay in that light, you can make a huge, more powerful difference in the world than trying to join a crowd that is angry and I'm not saying if you are moved to go and protest and get yourself arrested and tear gassed and all that stuff, if that's what you feel called to do, and that's the way you want to use your influence, you may do that. Some people will have other ways of being the light and holding out for a better future, the better future that we all had a little taste of. That was the hardest thing about going through last week and this election was, boy, we could see that better future where people are, the economy is booming because we took our money and invested it in businesses and we invested it in people because that's the important thing in life is people and all of us feeling safe and sound. So anyway, that's my little share today. I just wanted to put that out there. We're about to go into some very challenging times. No doubt about it. Fascism is very well studied and understood as an anomaly, an aberration of human mental health. It's a mass mental health issue. Is really what fascism is. And a lot of people around us are swept up in it. And I just want to look face to face and eye to eye with my neighbor. And if they voted for that, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know. And they're going to see now. We're going to all see what they voted for and what they won. So, and then we're going to come out the other side, though. It's a dark tunnel we're about to go in, but there is a light on the other side of that tunnel. And whether we come through it alive in these physical bodies or alive on the other side and non-physical, but life goes on. And life, there is no end to life. There is only a change of form. Everything is energy, including us. And energy cannot be destroyed. The energy of the universe is expanding. And things are actually getting better, even though we have these dark times. It's the darkest before the dawn. And anyway, just wishing everyone the best. And if you are in the war zones, if you are in the places where the fascists have taken over and are killing people and destroying everything around you, my heart goes out to you. And I am giving as much as I can through my church and charity and posting things like this to raise consciousness about it and praying and visualizing. And I tried my best to vote in someone who had the last person who could possibly have made a positive difference in terms of fighting fascist behavior all over the world. That's currently on the rise right now, and it's heartbreaking that didn't happen yet. But that doesn't mean that we aren't still we still have a responsibility and an ability to hold the light in our lives. And that's what we need to do. We need to hold the light in our lives. So thanks.